on the window pane. I keep calling out your name. City lights can't kill this ache. I'm a ghost nobody came to save. Neon ghosts don't feel the same. I'm still burning in your flame. searching. City never sleeps, but I'm the only one awake, running through these streets with every single mistake. The lights they cut so deep, like scars I still can't shake. Shadows know my name, shadows know my name. We are the hollow saints of the night. We carry our damage like a guiding light. We lost our name somewhere between the dark and the place where music resurrects the heart. Hollow saints don't pray on their knees. We pray through the bass and the minor keys. Faces in this town. I have been the one who holds the others down. Not from strength but from the fear of being seen as anything less than the mask that I've been. But the night has always known my other name, the one I use when no one else can claim. Who can stand inside the bass drop and just breathe and finally let the armor come unsheathed. I found it here between the sub and the string, in the place where broken a kind of grace that lives inside the beat. When everything you carried hits the street. I have seen the hollow saints come through that door with everything they couldn't hold anymore. And I have watched them leave a little lighter, just a fraction of a shade or two brighter, into something that could move through them instead of something that just sat there cold and dead. And the violin became the kind of gift that doesn't promise easier, just a lift.
church from broken glass, where every wound became a past. Glass cathedral in the dark, every scar becomes a spark, every spark becomes a flame, and the flame remembers every name. A
was a straight line, that one day I'd wake up and feel just fine. But healing moves the way that music does, and waves and repetitions, just because it has to teach you something with each turn. Because the people in this room tonight are all just searching for the same damn light. We came here wearing everything we've been, and the music is the one place we belong, where being broken makes you just as strong. Let the glass remind you that breaking is not the end. Let the light come through you, through every crack and bend. You don't have to be home to hold a sacred space. You just have to be here. You just have to take your place. Every wound a window, every scar a quote from the book of everything you lived through to be here. Glass cathedral standing after all these years. Glass cathedral, built from everything I couldn't say, couldn't say. Glass cathedral, where the broken ones come down to pray, come to pray. Every shot of me, every shot is catching all the light I thought it lost, thought I lost. Glass cathedral, still standing, still glowing, worth the cost. I built a church from broken glass, where every wound became a past. Glass cathedral in the dark, every scar becomes a spark. These neon wounds still bleed like light. They hurt the most on Friday nights. I wear them like a second skin, a map of everywhere I've been. Neon wounds don't fade away, they just teach you how to stay. still alive. Still going, still here. We were fire in the dark, burning cities in our hearts. We were everything and more. Now we're shadows on the floor. Shadows we became, but shadows learn to feel no shame. Shadows know the way back to the flame. I remember when the city felt alive, when the night was young enough to let us hide. We were reckless and we were beautiful, chasing feelings we could never name. Now I walk the same old avenues, wearing different shoes and different bruises too. But the music doesn't ask me who I was, it just meets me where I am tonight. And the violin is singing like it knows every single reason I survived. So I follow where the melody is calling through the darkness and the doubt. Let the strings remind me what I carry is the light trying to come out. Shadows we became, dancing through the dark and through the rain, through the rain. fracture in the midnight light. Every crack reveals a different light. I built my walls from borrowed pain. Now I'm tearing them down in the rain. Midnight fracture set me free. The dark made something out of me. The city hums its usual light beneath the cold fluorescent sky. I used to walk the streets and feel like nothing here was ever real. But tonight the violin is speaking in a tongue I recognize. I spent the early hours counting everything I thought I lost. And I'm not saying it was easy, but the music calls it all a gift. The bassline moves beneath my feet like something ancient and complete. And I surrender to the feeling. Let the rhythm take the shame. Midnight fracture, fracture, light comes through the broken part. Midnight fracture, fracture, healing lives inside the scar. Inside the scar, I was shattered, shattered. Now I'm scattered into a star, into a star. Midnight fracture, fracture, made me beautiful and dark. I've seen the people on the dance floor carrying more than they should bear. Eyes closed and bodies moving like the music is a prayer. I found something more electric in the spaces in between, in the violin that cries out everything you hold inside. Don't be afraid of what the dark reveals. Don't run away from everything you feel. The broken places are the holy ones, where grace and glory finally come undone. Let the violin hold what you cannot say. Let the bass remind you of a better day. You were fractured but you never fell apart. You were always the light inside the dark. Cannot say, and the strings to hold the pieces. to keep your feet moving through the dark into the morning glory. Let the violin carry you. Let the bass remind you who you are. You didn't come this far to stop now. You were always meant to go this far. Neon ghosts and holy ground. I was so lost and now I'm found. Every road that broke me down. Led me back to holy ground. Hear the violin cry out loud. I was silent, now I sound. Standing here on holy ground. Neon ghosts and holy ground. I was so lost and now I'm found. Every road that broke me down. Standing here on holy ground. Holy ground. Still standing, still mine. Shadows speak my name tonight. In the city bleeding borrowed light. I've been running but I can't escape the beautiful and broken thing I've made. Every wound becomes a window. Every loss becomes a gain. Says do, but my mind says never. These streets don't sleep and I feel whatever. I carry ghosts through the morning rain. I wear my scars like a gold chain. Something cracked inside the silence. Something real finally came alive. I've been searching in the wrong directions, chasing love through the wrong reflections. But the city taught me how to feel. Even concrete has something real. Every night that I survived alone was building the person I had to be. night hours. Maybe I was built to understand that beauty lives inside the broken, and grace lives in the trembling hand. Hold me in the dark, hold me in the sound. I was so far gone, now I'm coming around. Shadows speak my name, and I'm not ashamed, not ashamed. I'll walk through the fire, I'll walk through again. Shadows speak my name, in the dark, in the rain, but the music keeps saving me over and over again. Shadows speak my name, and I'm not ashamed, not ashamed. I walk through the fire, I walk through again. But the music keeps saving me over and over again. Shadows still speaking, still here. Broken lights above the city, empty skies, but God is with me. I've been falling, but I'm still here. I've been lost, but I feel you near. Every scar becomes a story. Every night is leading somewhere. drop reminds me someone's there. I don't need to have it figured out. Just give me one more night to feel this real. One more night to let myself to heal. Still burning.